What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk Tottenham. Today, I wanted to take a deeper dive into Project Big Picture and take a look at some of the responses that have come out since the world exclusive from the Telegraph. So let's take a look at this first. It's actually a blog by vysyble, and they are calling it Project Big Profit. And so here's why. So the first thing they talk about is, economic profit includes all the costs of doing business. And then in this quote here, based on something we have known for a long time, what we call profits is usually not a profit at all until a business returns a profit greater than its cost of capital. It operates at a loss. When viewed through the economic profit and loss lens, the Big Six come up noticeably short. Between 2009 and 2019, the pre-tax performance of the Big Six clubs is a marginal profit of, these are crazy numbers, 106.7 million profit from a combined revenue of 20.8 billion. So 20.8 billion, and the profit is 106.7 million. Although revenue and indeed the growth in revenue has been nothing short of impressive, so has the growth in costs over the years. So, looking at this graphic here, it shows that the economic profit loss, Spurs are the highest. And so here's some of the things that they talk about. And I think these are smart. And I'll give you an example of what they look like in the United States already. So the simple answer for the Big Six, at least, is to change the formats and compete more often in a bigger, more lucrative market. What's interesting about this is that they're looking to have, how do you get more eyes on the game? Well, you have the biggest clubs facing off against the biggest clubs. Because even if it's not your local team, you're watching the game. I'll give a perfect example of that. I'm watching Spurs. Imagine, you're always playing the biggest names and you're just drawing in more and more eyes. And this is a much more global market than American sports, right? And so I could see how American, business owners would be looking at this and going, oh my gosh, this is such an incredible opportunity. Biggest sport in the world. All over the world, right? You've got fans in the States, in Europe, Asia, Africa, like you're literally Australia, every continent where there are humans, there's an opportunity to make money. And so here's a couple things that they talk about, and I think this is important. Local broadcast contracts will be much reduced as the media focus pivots towards the new international competition, which will no doubt be underpinned by lucrative broadcast contracts from predominantly American companies, giving the example of Comcast, who also owns Sky and NBC. Tech giants Amazon and Facebook, with perhaps Disney's ESPN somewhere in the mix too. Relegation will be much reduced or even eliminated because it's a reduction of risk. I talked about that in the previous video that, I can't imagine them getting rid of relegation, but they're giving that 16th place team another opportunity to stay, right? So even if you're in the relegation zone, you still have that opportunity to stay up. Obviously, there's going to be tons of eyes watching that game. Like, will they do it? Won't they? So they'll be able to promote those types of things. But plenty of international promotion, tours, preseason mini tournaments, and home games will be played in international locations. Guys, this is what's happening in the NFL. The NFL is playing games in London. That's why Spurs have the field, right? And in the United States, it's not crazy. Like, we don't have local derbies. Like, we just don't. It doesn't look like that, right? I remember, I used to watch the Wings a ton, and our biggest rivalry was with the Avalanche growing up. It was like when the Red Wings played the Colorado Avalanche, it was just fights and high-scoring games, and everybody loved to watch, not just Wings fans. And so I could see this, American business owner going, we can create rivalries. We don't need to have these local rivalries to really make it exciting. We can create rivalries with the big names and tell stories and create storylines that add to that drama and hopefully draw in more and more people from across the world, not just locally in London or wherever. The last thing here, salary caps and financial limits will abound, as will eventually the profits. In terms of creating that market where it's the biggest cities against the biggest cities every night, and those smaller Midwest markets, which is where I live, they get lost in the shuffle. Like I said, I think that it's dirty. It just doesn't feel good. For Spurs, it's lucrative. We're already, you go back to some of those graphs. Spurs are already doing okay in that decade, right? So imagine a closed system. Imagine a more closed system. Imagine less risk. Imagine all that we've spent in terms of building our facilities and world-class training facilities. And now we've got, youth facilities, everything just being top-notch for Spurs. And those are all costs to keeping up. And now there's, potential that these bigger clubs, but most of them being run by Americans, are going like, I want less risk. I want to make more money. And when you think about, connections to some of these huge companies like Comcast, like Amazon, like Disney, with ESPN and such, you can see why they would want to have as much power as possible to be able to wield, these kinds of things. And, some of the things that they put in there, like they would define who could be owners and stuff like that. That's coming from American sports. And, one thing that was revealed to me as I got into watching football abroad was what it means that a lot of, almost all professional sports in the United States are franchises. They're franchises. They're McDonald's. What it means is the team in your town is not your club. The St. Louis Rams can move if you love them. Right? So, yeah, it's just like crazy. I don't know how this would, fall out over time, because it's not like that at all right now. And that's why I love, clubs like Detroit City and I love Spurs. I love watching the drama of the beautiful game. It's just so different when there's so much on the line. I watch the games, even when it's not Spurs. I just love to watch the game, and so it would be a lot different if this big picture came into view. So anyway, those are some of my thoughts. I just wanted to share them quickly, and I would love to hear your thoughts as well. This channel is primarily about Spurs, and if you're here just to kind of get some idea about Project Big Picture, thanks so much for watching. If you like content like this, please hit that thumbs up button and like this video. And if you're a Tottenham fan at all, please hit that subscribe button. Like Harry Kane strikes that goal against Arsenal. It just feels so good. And I would love for you to be a part of this channel, working our way up to 250 subscribers and more. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And as ever, it was great talking with you.